good morning. Pastor Steve here. Chapter 3 of Philippians, the 9th verse, he says, "And be found in him, not having mine own righteousness, which is of the law, but that which is through the faith of Christ, the righteousness which is of God by faith." Paul understood it wasn't, I'm a great guy, I'm as good as anyone else. It wasn't that at all. Rather, he knew the scriptures. By the deeds of the law shall no flesh be justified. There's none righteous, no, not one. Our very best only makes us good people headed in the wrong direction. God's very best makes us alive people headed in the right direction. We have our salvation by grace alone, through faith alone. If we understand that we need to be rescued from something, then we will want to be. If we don't have a need, we don't have a need. Paul had his need pointed out. Remember on the Damascus Road, where the bright glory of God shone round about him in the person of Jesus Christ? All of a sudden, all of his goodness showed up to be what it was, filthy rags. He tells the gospel in a nutshell in 1 Corinthians 15, right? It's Jesus Christ died, crucified for us, buried, and rose again from the dead for our justification. Ephesians 2:8 and 9 tells us that grace is the method and faith is the conduit. That's all we have. In his book, Illustrations of Truth, Harry Ironside tells of a man who was giving his testimony in the church, and just telling him how he didn't deserve it, but how God gave him a forgiveness of sin from his awful life that he had before. Well, the person in charge of those were a legalist, and he said, well, didn't you have any merit in this at all? And he said, didn't you do your part before God did his? This guy jumped to his feet and said, oh, I did. For 30 years I lived like the devil. I ran away from God as fast as my sins could carry me. And that was my part. But God took out after me and ran me down, and that was his part. God's great riches at Christ's expense. Not by works of righteousness which we have done, but according to his mercy. What we have is a gift of God. Bask in it. Thanks, Pastor Steve.